What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're all having a great day. And yeah, we're in the MLB lockout right now. I think we're 2 weeks in, and long story short, there's not, a boatload's worth of content that I'm able to make with not being any news going on. But I do actually have a couple pretty interesting videos dropping soon regarding the Yankees offseason. That'll be probably next week or so. But for now, we're gonna do a tier list. I've never done one of these before. I did do like a Sporkle quiz naming like the whole Yankees roster a couple months ago. But yeah, we're just grading the 2021 roster of, the Hall of Fame category, elite, starter, bench, and then that feeling when you want to poo, but it's just a fart. So we're going to grade every player from the 2021 roster. There isn't one yet for 2022, but I wouldn't want to do that anyway, since the roster right now that they have is basically just the 2021 roster, besides the guys that they've non-tendered or just traded. So let's get into it. But before we do, please drop a like on this video. I'm not sure how many more of these I'll be doing, but if you guys like this and it's something you want to see, let me know down in the comment section below. Also, let me know if you disagree with any of my tier list rankings on here. I'm sure there'll be some controversy. There's some obvious no-brainers, but I'm sure there'll be some that we disagree on. So let's get into it. The order is pretty random here. It's not alphabetical or anything, but Lucas Luetge, he did his job, and it's tough with the way the rankings are with starter or bench, but in terms of just like A, B, C, D, E, I mean, he did his job. I'm actually going to put him in the starter. I'll put him in the starter category. I don't want to say he's elite because I'll say that for the high-end bullpen guys we have, like Holmes. But yeah, Lucas Luetge definitely did his job for us. And if you factor in the circumstances of what he was coming back from and the fact that he hadn't pitched in the MLB since, 2014, he had a really good year. Jordan Montgomery. I'll put him in starter for now, but some people seem to forget or not realize Jordan Montgomery was one of the better starters in the American League this season, and I put it on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at DanOnRook if you don't already. If I'm the Yankees, I'm talking to Montgomery about a possible extension, because if they let him get to free agency and he pans out, I don't want to say pans out because he's already established for sure, but I very well could see Montgomery in a couple years being worth possibly $30 million a year. So if they could lock him up right now for like 5 years on maybe 18 AAV, might be a smart move. I'm not going to be going on length for every single player, I promise. We'll speed this up a little bit. Wandy Peralta, I was just about to do it again. He was solid for us. Didn't start out too great, but down the stretch became one of my favorite guys at the pen. So we'll put him in the starter category. Is that... Oh, no, that's Joely Rodriguez. Never mind. Joely, he was actually pretty solid for us. I'm not sure why we got him when... I mean, we actually brought him back, so we still have him, but he really can only get out left-handers, and with the 3-batter minimum rule, he's kind of pointless. So I'm going to put him at bench, not necessarily because of his performance, just because his value. Jameson Taillon, pretty solid year coming back from Tommy John surgery. I'll put you... No, I was going to say I'll put him at bench for now with the possibility of going back up to a starter, but his final outing of the year helped get us into the playoffs against the Rays. He was money that game. Excuse me, guys, I'm a little bit gassy. Taillon, you're a starter. Kyle Higashioka. I won't put you in the bottom tier, but you'll be bench. You're actually a pretty solid catcher, but Gary Sanchez, I think, will be right next to you as well. I can't put Gary in the starter category, but he's one of those guys that I could see by the end of this year. I feel like we say this all the time. I know, and I'm guilty of it as well. Gary, he's starting in the bench tier. Strong possibility he could be up to the elite by the end of the season. We'll just have to see. DJ, I'm going to keep you in... You're going to... See, am I grading this off of 2021 or how I feel about going into 2022? If that were the case, I'd put him at elite, but after his year, I'm just going to keep him at starter. Really, he should probably be at bench for going off 2021, but I'll be nice. Rougned Odor, I'm actually going to put him at the feeling when you want to poo, but it's just a far. And that's a good way to describe him, because there's times when you really want to, not that this is a great comparison, but with Odor, you really want to like him, and he is a fun guy, and it was a great clubhouse presence, no doubt, but the guy was awful, and besides him being a cool dude, and fun apparently to be around, I'm glad he's not in the Yankees anymore. Anthony Rizzo, definitely not elite. I think this one's pretty obvious. He was solid for us. COVID definitely screwed him up a little bit. He was also one of the few guys to perform in the wildcard game, hit a homer. So starter for sure, not elite, and I wouldn't mind having him back. I want Olsen for sure, and Freddie Freeman apparently it's actually a possibility. I'm not sure if it's just negotiation tactics or what, but the Yankees are checking in on Freddie Freeman. It's not a lock that he'll go back to the Braves, so that's a possibility. I'll take Freddie Freeman. I want Matt Olson. But no problem if Anthony Rizzo comes back. Albert Abreu, I took some heat for this, but Albert Abreu, he just did not pass my sniff test this year. I think he definitely could turn out to be solid, and he did show a lot of flashes of I don't want to say greatness, but of flashes of possibly being a solid reliever one day. But I don't know. I felt a lot of you guys or other people in the Yankee community had a lot more confidence in Abreu than I did, but I'm excited to see what he does this year. I know Aaron Boone loves him, so I'll put you in the bench category right now. Gleyber Torres, starter. I mean, especially with the fact that the second half he was solid, and since moving to second base, I'm feeling pretty good about Gleyber, because in the second half, I think he had either an OPS over 800 or like just below 800, and since he moved to second base in like early September, he had a WRC plus, I believe, of like 130 the rest of the way. So, and his defense at shortstop. If he was still a shortstop, I'd put him in the bench category. But his defense at second base, I'd say it's like just around league average, maybe a tick below, which isn't horrible. Gio Urshela, wouldn't be surprised if he's traded. I actually want the Yankees, if they don't trade him, to just treat him as like a super utility player, one injury away from being a starter. If say they went out and got Matt Olson and DJ LeMahieu comes your third baseman, if one of your infielders gets hurt and Gio Urshela is your replacement, that's pretty solid. I'm not going to put him at starter for now, only because he had a down year in 2021, and we might be seeing him come back down to earth. So I'll put him at bench, but he's like the highest tier of bench, at least in my opinion. Andrew Velasquez, no longer on the Yankees, but bench. It's crazy, yo. I posted on Twitter and Instagram the other day. It's insane. If you if you want to be miserable and not want to will to live, go look back at the Yankees lineup for the wildcard game. It was not only bad, and I know we realized this at the time, but like I don't know if we fully realized how embarrassingly bad that lineup was. And to be fair, DJ LeMahieu was hurt, so that affected things. But long story short, we had Brett Gardner batting 6th, and Andrew Velasquez was starting in that game. So yeah. Anyways, Luke Voit. I mean, I'll put you at starter for now, but I don't see a world where Luke Voigt's still Yankees first baseman in 2022. But we'll see. Tyler Wade, now he's on the Angels bench. Joey Gallo, starter for now, but he is, and I am basing this off of 2021, so I mean, if that's the case, I'd probably put him down in the fourth tier. But going into 2022, starter, but he does have the possibility to be elite like he was before we got him. And he did, I made a video about this when I posted the video, should the Yankees trade Joey Gallo. He had 2 weeks before he hurt his neck where he was good old Joey Gallo. He was hitting home runs, taking walks at an OPS like over 700, and then he hurt his neck. He's streaky for sure, but went on. He's almost as good as Aaron Judge. Brett Gardner, bench. I love Gardy. I hope that we've seen the last of him as a Yankee. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back, but I actually do think, if I had to bet money on it, I think this is the year they cut ties with him. I don't think he's coming back. But I could see it, like I said. Aaron Judge, Hall of Fame. The way he's pacing right now, number 99 will be retired. I'm not sure he'll be a Hall of Famer. He would have to, one, sustain for the next, 10 years and stay healthy, which I do believe he'll be able to do that. But I think the math adds up to, the benchmark for Hall of Fame is, a 70 WAR player. And I think he's at, almost at 25 right now. So he'd have to average, 5 WAR over, the next, 9-10 seasons, which is definitely possible. But in terms of just the Yankees, which their Hall of Fame is Monument Park, Aaron Judge right now is trending Hall of Fame, and they should sign him to a 7-year extension and name him the 15th captain in franchise history. Giancarlo Stanton, this is tough. He's actually just below Hall of Fame status. You know what, screw it. I'll put him at Hall of Fame as well, because he had just as good of a year offensively as Judge did, or close to as good as Judge was offensively in 2021. And you want to talk about Hall of Fame with the Yankees, possible Monument Park guy with the Yankees. Giancarlo Stanton has a historic postseason resume, and he continued that. He was the one guy, just the one guy that we could count on offensively in the wildcard game this year. And of course, he has 3 hits, almost 3 home runs, was the only guy that performed. So if he keeps that up, he could actually see his number retired in Monument Park. And the way he's pacing, the dude's going to finish at least probably 500 home runs. So quite possibly he actually ends up in the Hall of Fame. Aroldis Chapman, definitely not Hall of Fame. Man, I don't know if I want to put him in the elite category. I think I'm going to put you in the starter category. Now, Chapman, he did kind of find a stride again towards the end of the year, but I don't know. I don't give him too much benefit of the doubt. And I like Chapman as a pitcher, not as a person, obviously. But same kind of thing with, Gary, where I'm going to keep him as a starter for now. But Gary's a bench, but where he starts in one area, and I could see him finishing at elite by the end of the year. But it's really going to be determined by his postseason performance, because in the end, that's what matters. Garrett Cole, I'll put you at the elite category, and here's why. You would be in the Hall of Fame category, because I think when all's said and done, there's a good possibility 45's retired. But, the wildcard game, Cole did shit the bed. There's no going around that, so I'll put you in the elite category for now. But I just made a post on Instagram. I encourage you to go read it. because I'm doing 2021 player outlooks on Instagram, and I started with Garrett Cole. And, a lot of people are nervous about how he'll be or how he'll perform in 2021, how he'll perform post Spider Tack. I'm not concerned about that at all. The reason I'm pissed about the Walker game is just that he shit the bed during a Walker game, said he was healthy when he wasn't. It doesn't affect how I feel about him going forward. Now, post Spider Tack, Cole was a solid pitcher. MLB crackdown began June 13th. From June 13th up until Cole hurt his hamstring in early September, Cole had a 3.27 ERA over, I believe, 13 starts. That's ace-worthy. Now, it may not be worth $324 million necessarily, but what it showed was Cole wasn't a bum like many people pushed that false narrative that he was without Spider Tack. That just simply wasn't the case. Then he hurt his hamstring, wasn't so good afterwards, and that basically, everybody within the Yankees believes that is what contributed to or led to Cole shit in the bed in the Walker game. Doesn't excuse the fact that Cole said he was healthy. If you say you're healthy, then all right, we got to take you at that. You're healthy and you shit the bed. That's that 100%. I'm not, disputing that we should be mad at Garrett Cole, but I have forgave him. He's still 100% my ace, and I'm feeling really good about him. I'm almost convincing myself to put him in the Hall of Fame tier, but once again, he still didn't have a good October start. And also, he was good the year before in the postseason, by the way. He was really good for us against Cleveland, had a great start, and was good in both his starts against the Rays and the ALDS. But yeah, we'll keep you in the elite category for now. Nestor Cortez will put you in the starter category, because as it sits right now, while I do think the Yankees will get one more starter before the season starts, Nestor is our 5th guy, and he had a really solid year. I'm not sure when all's said and done in the offseason he'll be a starter, but I think he's like the perfect definition of what a swingman can be. Kind of what I was talking about like with Gio Urshela before on the bench. With Nestor, like if he's your 6th man, one injury away from having 2021 Nestor Cortez pitch for you every 5 days, that's not a bad problem to have. Chad Green, I'm going to put you in starter category just below elite, only because he did allow a lot of home runs this year, and he did blow quite a few games. To be fair, the Yankees offense was so bad. We all know the story that every game almost was a 1-run game, so like the relievers didn't have too much of a margin to really work with. So that kind of sucks for Green and all the relievers, but still he did blow games, and I'm not putting him in the bench category, no means, but I'll put him in starter for now, and he easily could go up to elite by the end of the year, or by the end of the first month of the season. Andrew Heaney, now he's on the Dodgers, got $8 million from the Dodgers, and I'm just going to put him in the bottom, no explanation necessary. Clay Holmes, baby, I'm going in the elite category. Yes, Clay Holmes, easily, far and away, at least right now, the best Yankee reliever, 100%. And, I do I don't want to take a little bit of credit because I didn't make the trade, but if you guys remember, once this trade was made, hella people were like going at Cashman, and this at the time, like Wandy Peralta wasn't working out too great. They're all butthurt about that. They gave up Mike Talkman for him. So people were going at Cashman, like, why would we get this guy that's like a bum, has like 4.5 ERAs, walking everybody left and right. It was such a smart move because the Yankees, and I don't know how the Pirates didn't see it or any other teams, Clay Holmes has filthy stuff. Literally all they had to do was tell him, bro, just throw strikes. You don't even really have to locate it. Just throw that sinker over the plate. And we saw it. He was striking out hitters left and right. Like I said, he's easily the best reliever right now in the Yankees bullpen. So he's going in the elite category. 2 more left. Corey Kluber now with the Rays. It does scare me a little bit, not going to lie. If there's one team that will just get magic out of Kluber, it's definitely the Rays. Either the Rays or the Astros. We'll put you in... I don't want to put you in the bottom tier because he was kind of solid for us when he was healthy. But even his solid, it was kind of like the same way, no offense, I love CeCe Sabathia, but 2018 CeCe was like solid, quote unquote. He had like a 3.5 ERA, but there's sometimes when like a pitcher, like, it feels like they have a 5 ERA in the starts that they pitch, but somehow it just stays like a 3.5. And that's how I felt with Corey Kluber. He definitely was solid early on, and he obviously had the no-hitter and stuff. He was solid early on for sure, but he was facing poor teams, and when he came back, he was just like a 4 or 5 inning pitcher, and I never really felt he was truly effective, which is funny to say about a guy that threw a no-hitter, I know, but I'll put you in the bench category only because you threw a no-hitter, and it's the first no-hitter I ever seen live for the Yankees, at least. Brooks Kriske, thank God, is not only no longer on the Yankees, he's no longer within the MLB, or MLB, I just said the MLB, please don't ever say the MLB, it's not the MLB, it's MLB. He's now in, Japan, I believe? So if there was a tier, this is where he belongs, honestly. I'm going to keep him right there. I don't even want to put him in the bottom tier. This is your own tier, the Brooks Kriske tier. Guys, that's going to do it for this tier list. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this. If this is something I'm going to be doing, once again, not sure if it is. It's really just going to be over the next month or so. Also, there's not too many huge or dope Yankees tier lists. If you're somebody that's into tier lists, please make me them. Send me a DM on Twitter at Dan Allen Rourke, and if it's dope, I'll definitely play it and maybe make a video about it. But yeah, like I said, more off-season videos coming up in probably next week or a couple weeks from now. Really starting January 1st for sure. I'm going to do probably player outlooks, predictions, all that jazz. But yeah, drop a like on this video if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you are new. I will see you guys next time. Let's go, Yankees.